This is episode 2 of the Life at Sekure podcast. My name's Justin. Apparently, I'm hosting all of these now. And I'm sitting here with one of our top reps at the company, Pierre, or better known as Rocky, which I don't think I know this. And we were actually having this discussion before, like, where did Rocky come from?
Well, thank you for introducing me. So Rocky, it's pretty funny. So it's a childhood nickname that I picked up playing football, Little League football. I was I would say about 10, 11 years old. On the football field, I'm a beast, so.
Yeah, we played basketball before. I've seen you, yeah, for sure.
Hey, I will have to say I'm much better at football than
I
basketball.
believe you because I've seen you.
But yeah, it's a childhood nickname I picked up playing Little League football, kind of stuck, and the fact that Pierre in the States doesn't really, go too well. Like a lot,
Yeah.
like they're
Because you're from Florida, right?
I am originally from Florida, yes.
Okay, cool.
So the Rocky just kind of, I picked it up and it was kind of perfect at that time. And
Okay, makes sense. Like, it's funny. Like, we were talking about this before, and someone asked me, like, "Hey, do we know where Rocky came from?" And I actually thought about it. And I was like, "Known you a long time, but I never thought to ask."
But I'll tell you another funny story, which I actually learned when I moved here to Canada. So Pierre actually means rock in French.
You're right. It does.
So for some weird reason, it kind of just all played out perfectly.
Yeah, fair.
Pierre, Rocky, it was just meant to be,
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, what we're trying to do here is we're hoping to use the podcast for, I mean, anybody, I guess, part of the company or even people following us on Instagram and all our social media stuff to get to know the people behind the stories that we put up and the reels and kind of get an idea of what was your path to get to Sekure. So, like we were talking before, I've known you for a long time.
Yeah.
We've kind of crossed paths in a few different spots in the companies. But why don't you just kind of talk about how you got here? Talk about how you got to Canada and to Montreal coming from Florida. So I'm sure there's like some interesting stories there. And then kind of your path, like starting at Sekure and getting to the point where you are now.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, it was a pretty interesting journey. I'll say that. Starting off from Florida, the reason I initially moved to Canada was to continue my football career. So after I finished high school in Florida, the offers that I had to go to college, I didn't really like the schools that were offering full scholarships. So I ended up coming down here. My mom and my little brother lived here already, so it was an easy transition for me to move up here. When I moved here, I went to Vanier. I did 2 years at Vanier, and then I did a year at Concordia. And then from there, I was actually a UPS driver. So after I finished Concordia, like anyone in their 20s looking to make a living, we need money, right? To
For
survive.
sure, yeah.
So school wasn't really giving me that. So I got a job at UPS as a truck driver. So I did that for about 5 to 6 years. The pay was amazing. The job sucked.
So you came to somewhere where the job's amazing and the pay's amazing?
Exactly. So I mean, I stopped UPS. I took some time for myself. I took about a year and a half. Traveled the world. I bought a condo in Dominican during that time.
That I knew.
Which is an amazing place to travel, by the way.
For sure. I've heard, yeah.
So after UPS, I needed something different. And again, I was constantly going back and forth between Dominican and Canada. And I stumbled upon Sekure. I applied. Luckily, I got the job. And when I came here, I didn't come with any expectation whatsoever. Like in my head, I came here looking for a job that I was going to be at for the next 3 to 6 months until my next vacation.
So you find your next thing.
And then, kind of take it from there. And then, from the day that I got at Sekure, just the work environment, the people, it was just mind-changing to me. Because again, I never done sales a day in my life. So I don't know what a sales floor is like. I never even watched the what was that? The Wolf of Wall Street.
Any of those sales
I
movies?
never watched any of those sales movies until I got to Sekure. So I had no idea what any of this was about.
So that's super interesting. I actually didn't know you played I knew you played like football and stuff, but I didn't know it was high level to the point that you were looking at like moving around to go play it in other places. I actually didn't know that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like we always talk sports, you and I, whenever we cross in the
Yeah.
hall. Obviously, we're both pretty like into that, you know.
Mostly basketball.
Mostly basketball, yeah, for sure. But I didn't know that. I didn't know that you had other plans. So it must have been like a bit of like a shock to like get over here, and then that's not really the path you end up going down, right? You're like you're kind of just looking at random jobs. So yeah, it's interesting.
Exactly. And again, when you're going through the process of life, especially in your early 20s, a lot of things you want is not what's gonna happen. That's what I mean. It doesn't always play out like that. So you got to be able to pivot. You got to be able to adjust, and go for the best option that's available. And at that time, UPS was the best option until I found Sekure.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
when I did find Sekure, again, it was mind opening for me, where it was just, I just felt like that's where I needed to be.
I think it's a lot of people end up having that same reaction to their, like, at least the people that have like really made something of this place, and like, in other episodes, like we talk to people about that too. And I'm sure like as the episodes go, like the stories that you hear are that I didn't expect this, right? I didn't expect Sekure to be this. I didn't expect to be where I was at, but something felt right about it. And how long have you been here now?
I'm going on 9 years.
Oh yeah, so you got here like right after I did.
Yeah, I started in the 2017, I believe, January 2017.
Yeah. And you started with me, like you started over on our side. You worked with me on my side for a little bit, and then kind of climbed the ranks and doing whatever. And now I think you're one of the names that come up, like when people talk about like the top people in the company, the ones that have really like stepped up to the plate and made something of themselves here. So I think that's like your name comes up a lot for that.
Honestly, and I think what drives me the most is the fact that I come from a sports background. So competition and excelling and being able to play under pressure and perform under pressure is something that I'm used to. Like I don't see it as pressure.
Yeah.
Like when I come here, a lot of the times I see different people on the phones, they're stressing, and me, I look at it, I'm like, hey, just have a conversation. Like you have a product that will sell itself.
It's just your personality. You got to bring with it, which you've always had, right?
That is it. And all you have to do is sell yourself. The product, it's already golden.
So I think this is the one thing I wanted to bring up with you. I think when people think Rocky at Sekure, they think like the party Rocky, the good time Rocky. Like, you want to talk a little bit about how that kind of came to be?
I
Like,
do like to have a good time.
I feel like anytime we talk about like a company outing or like an event, people always ask, was Rocky there? Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess it was a good time. Do you want to kind of like touch on that a little bit, where that comes from?
Well, again, it's more or less, my background. Coming from Florida, I'm not sure if you've ever been, but
I have.
yeah,
Florida.
Florida is like,
I went to Miami like 2 months ago. Yeah.
it's a beach town.
Where are you from?
I'm from Bradenton, so it's on the west coast of Florida. So it's about 45 minutes from Tampa.
Oh, okay. So that side. Okay. 'Cause I've been to like Fort Lauderdale. I've been to Miami.
So that's a bit further south.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, it's really like a beach town, like,
Laid back.
laid back house parties. This is the main thing where I'm from. You work hard and you play hard. And that's something that was, instilled in us since we were young. We go to football practice, we work our ass off, make sure our grades are top notch when it comes to school. And, after that, it's all a good time.
For sure.
So I think I just brought that energy over here with me. And, you could ask anybody. When it comes to having a good time, I'm there.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to make sure, first and foremost, that the people I'm with are having a good time. Because I can't have a good time if, the people I'm with are not.
I've noticed. Yeah, I've noticed. I've had some times with you myself, so I've noticed. But do you think that, I think I know the answer, but do you feel like that mindset has translated into why you're successful here?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Again, as I mentioned, performing under pressure and being in a competitive environment, it's something that I grew up in. So this is no different than being on a football team to me. The best players are going to play, and the ones that are not playing are working their way towards getting on the field. So it's always
Always a goal.
You're always working to get better, and I bring that same mentality over to this industry. And again, this is my first time ever being in a sales job. This is my one and only sales job I've ever worked at.
Yeah.
So to be able to climb the ranks and, start at the bottom and get to where I'm at now, it's something I really take pride in. Like, it's something I'm really happy about, really happy to talk to other people about and let them know my experience and, how everything went for me.
So how did you find Sekure? Like you got here, you're doing UPS driving. Like
Yes.
I know how I find it. It was kind of like an accident, to be fair. So how did you come across the company?
Very, very good question. Similar like yourself, an accident.
Oh, really?
So at the time when I found Secure, it was between the time where I stopped working UPS and I took, about a year and a half for myself. So I was actually living in Calgary at that time, in Banff.
Okay.
You heard of it? Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, very beautiful place.
Yeah, I've never been, but I heard it's
Yeah, beautiful.
super nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was actually living in Calgary. And again, I was getting ready to vacation to DR to take care of some, paperwork and stuff like that for the condo. So I needed just a job for that period of time, for that 6 months until I took the trip. So I started looking online. I was getting ready to move back to Montreal. I stumbled upon Secure online. And the most important thing for me is my French is not that good. So the fact that I was able to find a English speaking job that doesn't require French, that was the go-to for me.
Like even me, like I'm born and raised here, and my French is passable. Like I understand it perfectly. I can speak it, but not at a level where I'm comfortable enough where I think I could go do like this level of job completely in French.
Yeah, no, impossible. I would never be able to sell anything in French.
I mean, I don't know, maybe, maybe. But no, I get where you're coming from though. Like it's tough in that aspect, right? You feel like you're limited a little bit.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. So that's why Secure made like perfect sense. And then the funny thing is, when I applied, I was still in Calgary. So I'm thinking, it's going to be a process. I'm going to apply, maybe a month later, we'll set something, maybe something over the phone or something. So I applied. And within like 2 to 3 days, I got a call from the HR department wanting to basically telling me to come in for an interview. Like pretty much you got the job. And again, I was in Calgary, so I was like, oh, okay, well, it's kind of fast. They called me on the Thursday, interviews on Monday.
It was the same thing for me too. Yeah, it was so quick. Like at the time, like I needed quick, so I was kind of in the same boat as you, right? Like, but yeah, it was so fast. I think that's funny. Like I do a lot of interviews, like for our department, right? So I'm usually the one kind of hiring or whatever for our side, and the amount of people that come in and they're kind of like, wow, this, like I'll finish an interview, get a good feeling from somebody and be like, hey, you're in. Like
that's it.
right off the bat. And like, I think because I think everyone I've worked for, and like even when I was hired, our mindset is so, it's not just like, hey, what does your CV say to come work at Secure?
Yeah.
Like what are you like as a person? Like, do you have a lot of the stuff you were talking about, right? Like, do you have that competitive drive? Are you hungry? Are you goal oriented? Do you see stuff and want to gain like traction and get it?
Yeah.
Right. So the second I see that from somebody in an interview, I'm like, okay, cool, you're in. You're hired.
And honestly, that's one thing I love about Secure. Like Secure, it doesn't really matter of what your background or what your education or what what industry you were working in before. Like you said, you used to be a cook, right?
Yeah.
You never did in a similar job in your life. I used to be a UPS driver.
Yeah.
Look at us now. You're manager taking care of a whole department.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty much at the highest level there you can get at this company.
Yeah.
So I mean, you really don't need anything besides the drive to want to be better, to make it here.
I agree.
And that's one thing I really like about Secure, and I feel like that makes Secure unique in the sense that, like, if you want to do it, you could do it.
I just had that meeting. We get new hires that come in every week. And usually it's like groups of like 4 or 5 people. Sometimes it could be a little more, whatever. And every Friday I go meet with those people. And the reason I meet with them instead of just their manager or their trainer is because I was them 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Just kind of thrown in to the deep end, didn't have any experience. And like you walk in and you're kind of like, oh man, like do I even belong here?
Yeah.
And we find it super important to have somebody like you or somebody like me who have kind of climbed through the ranks and shown that all that stuff that we preach is actually happening, and tell them like, this, I'm you, like where you are right now was me a decade ago.
That's it.
You know, like, so I think you're 100% right about that. Like,
And that's key too.
Yeah.
And and the reason I'm saying that's key is, again, we lived it. So this is not something that we're preaching and we don't know about. We've been through the ringers. We lived it. We've been at the bottom. Like, you see what I mean? And one thing that really opened my eyes when I like started working here, because we hear a lot of talks about, you know, coming to the closer side and, you know, the earning potential and just how much better life is on the closer side. But when I first started there, I didn't see that. So when you don't see something, and you can't really be motivated by it, like, you see what I mean?
you need to see proof of concept.
I need to see what's going on. I need to see, you know, pay stubs, or I need to see
Yeah.
big checks being handed out.
But this is it. Like,
those
I can't even count how many people I've seen pictures of with giant checks, like bigger than like the door.
Yeah. Now,
Right?
Now that I'm on this side, it's a norm.
Yeah, for sure.
This is something that every month we're pretty much handing out big
I think we've made it, like, even in the past few years, I think we've made a bigger point of kind of showing that stuff. Cause like, yeah, you're right. Like, we know it's true.
Yeah.
But does the guy walking in on day one know that he can get a $10,000 commission check, or a car, or a trip, or like any of this crazy stuff that's happened over the years? Like, you know,
Exactly.
Are they gonna?
Some of them they might hear about it, but they don't know.
Yeah.
So that's why I
I think most companies are like that, right? You hear things with the grapevine, but you never see if it's proof.
you don't know.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I like about Sekure, because I feel like we've been actually putting, you know, more effort towards showing the CA side what is available to them.
Yeah.
If they do want to become a closer, you know, what life is like as a closer.
Yeah.
Me, myself, I've been on the other side many times to, you know, give different speeches and talk about my
Yeah.
experience.
Even little, like we'd take people out, like, to go have a drink or whatever with you guys, to kind of show them what a party with Rocky's like,
Gets back to the fun side.
what it's like to hang out when you have closer money.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing, Sekure, I'll say that when it comes to, you know, having a good time, whether it's sync cassettes or just company outings, dinners, the budget doesn't, there's no budget.
It's important.
Sekure likes to have a good time and make sure everyone's having a good time. And with that being said, I mean, we only go to the finest places. You know,
You're
we eat
not
the
wrong.
finest things. We're drinking the finest drinks. That's life at Sekure for you. You get the finest things, and we work for it. So this is not stuff that's being handed out.
You're 100%.
We are working for everything that is being given to us.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, did you cancel that trip? Did, like, you stick around? Did you not go because you were here?
Yeah, so funny thing. So when I first got hired, again, you know, I was only looking at about a 6-month plan. So I got hired. I was working under you, Jeff, and Matt at that time.
Yeah.
I was doing really good. Like, I got in. I'm not sure if you remember.
I remember.
I was breaking a couple records as far as like inbound, not inbound. How do I call that? Leads that
Yes.
was he bringing in per day.
Yeah.
We had quotas to hit each day. I think one day I got like 11 or 12 leads in a day or something. So it's something that I just really started getting really good at. I did still take that trip.
Yeah, I don't know you to miss too many Dominican trips, to be fair.
So I did still take that trip. And honestly, like, I figured when I came back, I'm like, yo, there's no way I'm going to have a job.
You've invited me on a couple.
Yeah.
I haven't taken you up on it yet, but you've invited me. You invited my kids to go stay at your condo.
I do have a nice condo over there. And it's very family orientated too. So at the same time where we can go, you know, as a guy's trip and have fun, you can also bring your family down there and have, you know, the best time of your life. So I did go on that trip. When I came back, I figured, like, dang, you might not have a job. So when I came back, I actually got promoted.
That's secure.
So I came back, I was in Legion, I got promoted to EMV. And my first week in EMV, I remember this like it was yesterday. My first week in EMV, at the time it was 5
I remember. There's 5 deals to hit commission.
to get commissioned.
Yeah.
My first week, my first day, I got 4 in one day.
I remember it.
I got 4 in one.
Why you didn't stay up with us too long and you got moved up really quick? I remember that. Yeah, when you came in, like there's it's funny, right? Like you think about something like that, like you talk about sports.
Yeah.
How often do you have a guy like come on a football team and all of a sudden like the dude's like MVP of the league year one? It happens once every 10 years.
No,
How many times have we had that here? You've been that.
Yeah.
I've been that. Half the people doing this job came in.
there's people out here that
There's so many people that came in and had that story here that it's not a coincidence. Like once or twice, okay, it happens. But like there's so many people that have come in and been like, just it's happened naturally off the bat, or they listened to the coaching they got, or they mixed well with the managers and they made something of it so fast and they just kind of like skyrocketed like up the ranks. And this is kind of what I mentioned to people when they first come in. Like when I look at you guys as a new group, I see the next person that's going to take this meeting from me when I move up to another thing, when that happens. You know what I mean? I see the next closer, the next person that's going to make $200,000 a year, the next person that's going to get all these perks and all these things that Sekure gives. And it might not just be 1 out of the 10, it could be 5 out of the 10. Like it happens so much here that there's something about this place and how we do things that generates that type of success.
No, absolutely. And that's why you're in the position that you're in, because you're able to look at somebody that's not in that position currently, but you see the drive and the potential behind that person because you used to be that person.
You know, it's funny, like I actually just told this story to someone the other day, but there used to be a manager here, Sarah. You remember? I don't know if you remember Sarah Francis.
Yeah.
So Sarah was one of my first managers. Love Sarah. Like we still talk. And she hasn't been here in a few years. She like moved out east and she's got kids now and like all this stuff. She's doing her own thing. But when she was here, like I had just been promoted up from that entry level spot and I started like pulling statements or whatever, doing like the opener position. And I was great on the entry level stuff. That next level up though, I couldn't get one for the life of me. And I remember like some of my managers being like, look, we gotta see some production here. Like it's a sales job. At the end of the day, you got to produce. And I remember Sarah coming up to me and being like, look, like I know you have nothing, but I hear it. I know it's there. So I'm going to promote you to something else anyway and take a chance on you. And I never missed commission again. And I always think back to that because she could have easily been like, I got targets to hit. The production wasn't there. This person needs some more seasoning. He's going to go back and do his thing. But they took a chance on me and like that. And I'll never forget that. I think about it all the time. Anytime I'm talking to somebody about promotions or moving up in the company, I'm trying to see the potential rather than just what's there now because of that experience that I had. So you're 100% right. Like,
bro, it's so nice that you just mentioned that because literally and honestly, I think like all the top reps and all the people that are in the higher position in this company, they've all had that
moment
come into play.
where they needed somebody's trust to like move them to the next thing.
For me, 2 moments that I won't forget from this company. Number one, that kind of humbled me was when I first when I was mentioning when I got promoted to EMV.
Mm-hmm.
That first week, I killed it. I got promoted to statement rep after that first week in EMV.
Mm-hmm.
And I had Matt Cote, that was
Matt,
that was there. You know, I was always bothering him because I'm always looking to move up. How many times? I think at one point you guys created. I'm not sure if you remember this. You guys created what was it, like an all-star team or a VIP team? Do you remember that? Where we had like multiple people in that back office. Where
yes, I remember that.
So that was pretty much the people that were on the crust of like.
Yeah, they were getting moved up. Yeah, it was to kind of let them be around each other and kind of learn off of each other. Yeah, I remember that.
Exactly. So one thing that I won't ever forget, again, I was riding high. You know, I got the EMV, I was killing it, and then got promoted. I got the statement rep, my first week of statement rep, again, killed it. Hit commission first week, and then after that, downhill.
Just went cold. Yeah.
I think that's the only time I've ever been demoted in this company ever.
Yeah, well, because there's not a lot of like we're really fluid about things here, right?
Yeah.
We'll give people a shot to try different things. Yeah, they can be brand new. I promoted somebody 2 weeks ago out of their intro meeting. just to like show them like, hey, like, okay, cool. You seem interested in this. You want to give it a shot? Yeah, cool. Let's do it. That person's still doing that job, but we'll take shots on people, even if they haven't gone through like all the paths that you would necessarily think someone would need to be able to move up.
Yeah.
We'll give them shots. And yes, listen, sometimes you need to take a step back to take 2 steps forward and kind of learn some different things.
Exactly.
But like, look how it worked for you, right?
That's exactly what happened with me. I literally went up to statement rep. I was doing good that first week. I got demoted. And then in my head, some people, they would have been like, oh, then where to go from there, right? In my head is, no, I'm going to get back up to that level.
Yeah.
Because I already seen that I could do it. I have the drive to do it. And in my head, it was just a bad week.
Yeah.
A bad 2 weeks. So once you have that confidence in you, it's hard for anyone to take that away from you.
No, I agree.
No matter how bad you're doing, no one can take that confidence that you have instilled in you, because you can do it, right? So that's one. And then the second one was when I got promoted to the closer. Because again, when you get promoted, you're doing a new job, so it's like you're starting all over.
Yeah.
Right. You're at the bottom of the barrel. You're trying to prove yourself and show that you are worth it. So I remember one day. I think we were about 4 or 5 people that got promoted. And the way it works at Sekure, again, why I love it, it's competition. You got to perform. Just like on the football field, guess what? We're 5 people going for the same position. There's only one that's going to play.
You got to beat somebody out. Yeah.
You see what I mean? So one thing I remember, we were literally like on the cusp. I think that month I had 8 deals, and there was 2 other people that had very similar deals, maybe 7 or 8, maybe one hired it. So I wasn't like a shoe-in for that spot, but like you said, sometimes you have to look at certain people and judge them not just based on their performance now, but what you feel like they can do. And I think that's what Katie and Ross seen in me. Because at that time, they were making the decisions on pretty much who was getting cut. I was one of those guys that got pulled in the office.
Your name was on that list, yeah.
And eventually, they pulled me aside at the end of the day, which I was very happy that they did. They told me, you know what? I love your energy. I like what you're doing. We want you on the team. So I didn't get cut, which it could have easily went the other way.
Yeah.
That could have been.
But they took a chance on you.
They took a chance, exactly. And sometimes that's all you need. Once you have that chance, then there's only one way you can go from there.
It's not the chance for me that's important. It's what the person that gets it does with
the chance.
Right? Because somebody could have taken a chance on you or taken a chance on me, and we fumble it, and then that's it, right? But like, I took that as I'm getting a shot that a lot of people don't get. Right. So I'm not going to take it for granted when I get it. And I feel like you probably approach that the same way.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Until this day, and me, I'm someone that's always thankful throughout the years. Like even with you, how many times have I thanked you for, all the shit you've done for me and the positions that you put me in, while we were working together on the other side. Same thing for Jeff, same thing for Katie, same thing for Ross. There's certain people that I have a level of respect for, due to the fact that, they did have a big key in getting me to where I am professionally right now. So those are things that you're pretty much going to take to the grave with you. Those are like life-changing moments.
Yeah, I agree.
Professionally, at least.
Yeah. So we're talking about like our starts here and all this stuff. What if you were to give advice to somebody starting fresh with the company? This is their first day. You just ran into them at a work event. You're having a drink with them. You're putting your arm around them. What's the advice you're going to give to that person to get to the point that you're at now?
To get to the point that I'm at now, honestly, I think the only advice that I would give somebody is that you gotta want it. You gotta want it. And what I mean by that like there's times where like you don't want to be here. Like it's not always easy going. Like some days are tough, but that's when you have to want it more than the merchant you're on the phone with, or you gotta want it more than your colleague that's selling 2 or 3 deals. Whether that means staying a bit later to make that extra call, coming in early to make that extra call, or maybe working through your lunch. whatever that takes for you to get to where you need to go, you gotta want it. Because if you want it, you're gonna do what it takes to get it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really my only advice. Other than that, just be yourself, and it's not rocket science we're doing here. We're having conversations and we're selling a product that sells itself.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to put any more or less to the product, because it's already gonna sell itself. Now you just have to come in and sell yourself. Because
You're selling me now.
Hey, that's what I do for a living. So yeah, that's pretty much the only advice that I'll give to somebody. Just, honestly, you gotta want it. Come in, be yourself, and come in with a smile.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Rocky, just want to thank you for doing this. I know you're busy making calls, making deals, making all of us money, making you money.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate you coming on. Obviously, we're going to keep doing these things, continue to get to know all the people that are relevant to all the success at Sekure. Obviously, follow us on Instagram at Life at Sekure to see updates, to see more of these people that you're going to get to know. Thank you very much, and we will see you guys for the next episode.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.